I recently uploaded a video to my channel where I attempted to beat the entirety of Pokémon Legends ZA using only a tiny little Chikorita. Then the Pokemon Company was nice enough to release DLC for the game, introducing more story content. Naturally, I felt obligated to take on the same challenge for the DLC. Before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, if you want to watch me do these challenges before they come out, I typically stream them over on Twitch. Now without further ado, let's get started. To kick off the DLC, you have to find Ansha on top of Hotel Z, where she explains that she needs help making a donut. Seems easy enough, right? Well, as it turns out, you'd be correct. We have an issue getting the butter since it's the last pack, and Tarragon and Grisham also need it to make canary bread, which leads to our first double battle of the DLC. You would think since Grisham and his Mega Charizard are involved that this battle would be tough, but the great thing about double battles is that I can just run around and dodge moves while my partner does all the work. Crisis averted. We get back to Hotel Z and use the butter plus some of the random berries we have in our bag to make a donut, which Ansha then takes and uses to, open a portal to another dimension. Ansha goes into the portal, so we follow her to go bring her back. While looking for Ansha, we get ambushed by a horde of Mankey that are all level 110, and I genuinely don't think that there was a way to win this battle with just Chikorita, because he got absolutely obliterated by all 5 Mankey attacking at the same time. Fortunately, you don't actually need to win this battle in order to progress the story, so I just took the L and moved on. After we find Ansha, she agrees to come back with us because she figured out the Pokemon she was looking for wasn't actually in that pocket of the dimension. However, when we get back out, we see that there is now a giant rift opening above where the tower used to be. Thanks, Ansha, that's exactly what we needed after just saving the city. Another crisis! Shortly after, we get a call from Corbo telling us to come to his office to discuss the rift. He and Vinny tell us that we need to survey the dimension, now dubbed Hyperspace Lumiose, to figure out more about it and see how we can handle this rift. This essentially just involves having Ansha make us donuts so that Hoopa can open portals, and then completing various research tasks such as catching Pokemon, collecting items, and battling trainers. This is all very repetitive, so I won't bore you talking much more about it. The one thing I will mention is that all of the Pokemon in Hyperspace Lumiose, whether wild or caught by a trainer, are all over level 100, which poses a very large threat to a tiny little Chikorita, whose stats are not great to be using late game. Fortunately, the donuts that Ansha makes award a level boost depending on the berries used and quality of the donut, so it's not too big of an issue. Once we get enough research points, we are called back to Corbo's office to discuss next steps. Before heading back there, I used some of the XP candies in my bag to max out Chikorita's level. In Hyperspace Lumiose, every level matters, so it's important that Chikorita is level 100 before the level boost kicks in. Talking with Corbo, we discover that Hyperspace Lumiose could eventually impact the real Lumiose if we don't do anything about it. He mentioned something about Rogue Mega Evolution, but I think I blacked out a little at the thought of having to deal with Rogue Megas again. It's not that they were difficult, there were just so many in the base game in such a short time frame that it became so annoying to deal with. Although before he can say much more, Korrina, the third gym leader in Pokemon X and Y, barges in and says that she wants to test our skills first since she is the successor to a line of Mega Evolution gurus. Let me tell you, this battle was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my whole damn life. First of all, she says she wants us to show her Mega Evolution during the battle, which means it's not even possible with only Chikorita in the first place. However, me being the dumbass that I am, thought that you may not actually need Mega Evolution, so I tried the battle without it. Oh my god, please, 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 yes, oh my god, yes, oh my god, yes, I did it. Oh my god. Please tell me that worked. Please tell me. Please. Wait, yes! Oh my god, wait. What? No! Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I should have just done it. I should have just done it with Absol. Oh my god. Oh, why did I do that? So yeah, that was very depressing after spending an hour on it just to have that happen. Granted, it was my fault because I should have just had Absol in my party and Mega evolved it, but I was very stubborn and didn't want to do that if I didn't need to. Second, all of her Pokemon that she has do over 50% damage to Chikorita per move, which means if she hits 2 in quick succession, the battle would end right there. And if that wasn't enough, the cherry on top is that one of her Pokemon is a Hawlucha that has Swords Dance, Feather Dance, Brave Bird, and Flying Press. Literally all of the attacking moves are super effective on Chikorita, and Flying Press seems to be a guaranteed hit. Both of the attacking moves will one-shot Chikorita, and the Hawlucha seem to almost always open with Swords Dance. So what the hell do I do here? It took a very long time, but I eventually got the battle down to a science. Obviously there was some luck involved since I didn't always know what moves she was going to use, but it pretty much went like this. Start with Absol. Mega Evolve Absol. Return Absol and keep it in the party for the rest of the battle. Take a hit from Machamp and use a Max Potion. Use Dazzling Gleam while Machamp uses a move and then run away until I can use another item. Use Dazzling Gleam again to knock out the Machamp. Use Reflect while Hawlucha uses Swords Dance and then use another Max Potion. Use a plus boosted Dazzling Gleam while Hawlucha attacks. I will say I got very lucky in this battle because the Hawlucha knocked itself out with Brave Bird after the Dazzling Gleam. Use a Max Potion as soon as possible. Bait out Detect with a random move and then use a plus boosted Dazzling Gleam. Tank an attack and then use another Max Potion. Bait out Detect with a random move and then use Dazzling Gleam to knock out the Surfetch'd. Use Reflect and tank an Extreme Speed plus another attack from the Mega Lucario. Use a Max Potion and then knock out the Lucario with a plus boosted Earth Power. Reflect was crucial in this battle because it was the only way to prevent the Swords Dance boosted flying type moves from Hawlucha from one-shotting Chikorita. I also used it when she sent out Lucario, but that was less because it was necessary and more because I was so close to the end and didn't want to lose to something stupid. But that was it. After around an hour and a half, I could finally continue with the story. Unfortunately, the rest of the story is very repetitive and is pretty much just a pattern of fight Rogue Mega, complete research tasks, fight another Rogue Mega, complete more research tasks. The only thing that really makes these Rogue Mega battles different from the base game is that they are timed based on the donut that was used to open the portal, which adds a bit of difficulty. Because of the repetitive nature of the DLC, I'm just gonna list out the Rogue Megas we fought and talk a little bit about each. Mega Absol Z. I guess the concept of Z Megas is kinda cool, but I don't really see the point when the only ones are this one and Lucario. This battle wasn't too difficult and we managed to win on the first try. Mega Staraptor. I know you didn't ask, but this is definitely a Pokemon that deserved a Mega, and it looks so good. Aside from that, this battle took me a couple of tries, embarrassingly enough, not even because the battle was difficult for Chikorita, but because the punching move it did was just annoying to dodge sometimes, especially in the second phase when it gets faster. Mega Tatsugiri. This is another Mega that I am in love with. This battle took a few tries, mainly because of the donut I used. Chikorita ended up being 9 levels lower than the Tatsugiri and was unable to do any significant damage to it, plus since the donut was bad, the timer was probably shorter than it should have been. Mega Meowstic. This battle sucked and was probably the one that took the longest out of all of the Rogue Megas. I still to this day have no idea how to actually break through the wall it creates, although maybe that's because Chikorita's moves weren't strong enough. And if you don't know, if you don't break through the wall, it deals massive damage to the player. The timer I had also was nowhere near long enough, especially since Chikorita was 11 levels below the Meowstic. Fortunately, when you lose a Rogue Mega battle, you have the option to restart with previous progress, which I think was probably the only way I was able to get through this battle. Mega Heatran. This was the last Rogue Mega battle before the final boss of the DLC. A bit of a tough battle since it has strong fire-type moves, but Chikorita had Earth Power which made the battle a lot easier than it would have been otherwise. This battle took me a few tries, but overall it wasn't too difficult. It may seem like I covered a lot there, but like I said, pretty much the whole DLC was Rogue Mega battles and completing research quests, which weren't particularly interesting and would probably be pretty boring if I spent more than a minute or two talking about them. The research quests themselves never got to be too difficult, but the number of points that I needed to get from completing the research quests increased as the story went on, which meant that they took longer to do. In order to get more points more quickly, I needed to enter the more difficult distortions, which came with its own set of challenges because the Pokemon were much stronger. Anyway, once we beat the Mega Heatran, we have a dream where we are in an unknown place with a voice telling us to help but also to stay away. After we wake up, Corbo tells us to meet him at his office right away, but when we try to go there, we're transported to Hyperspace Lumiose, making it obvious that the two worlds are close to merging. We meet up with Corbo and then find our way back to the real world before he tells us that Hyperspace Lumiose is being created and sustained by one single Pokemon. We then determine that we need to feed Hoopa a donut fused with the power of Mega Evolution to be able to deal with the rift above the tower, but to do so we need to do one last set of research tasks. After we complete the research, we head to Ansha and make what Corbo calls the Bad Dreams Crawler, which allows us to enter the distortion above the tower. We feed the donut to Hoopa and enter the distortion to find a place called Hyperspace New Moon Nightmare, which I can only assume is a hyperspace version of New Moon Island from Sinnoh. If you know what New Moon Island is, I'm sure you know what's coming next. And of course, that would be a battle with Darkrai. The battle has two phases, one where we fight Darkrai in its standard form, and then another where we fight Mega Darkrai. The first phase was pretty easy and we were able to win on our first try, but the second phase was pretty difficult with just Chikorita. I think the battle would have been fine if we had more time, but I was playing very aggressively to try to complete the battle as quick as possible since the donut didn't give us much time. Fortunately, this battle is just like the others where you can carry over previous damage dealt if you lose, so that's what I did to win the battle. And just like that, we saved Darkrai from Rogue Mega Evolution and saved Lumiose City from being merged with Hyperspace Lumiose, all with a tiny little Chikorita. Although there is some content after this part of the story, this technically marks the end of the main story of the DLC, and I really didn't feel like doing more research quests after spending 12 hours grinding through all of this with a Chikorita. So with that, this marks the end of the challenge. Who would have thought that a Chikorita would be able to stop a Rogue Mega Darkrai from merging two worlds together? Again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and you can always change your mind later. I stream a lot of my challenges live on Twitch, so if you want to watch them before they come out on YouTube, check me out over there. If you want to see any other challenges, drop a comment down below letting me know. I mainly play Pokemon, Mario, and Minecraft, but I'm always open to new suggestions. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.